Summit, LexiMeet 2022. Lexicon is India's first and leading online medical magazine that is conceptualized and operated by medical and paramedical students. Lexicon was founded by Dr. Suranjana Basak and Dr. Raviteja Innamuri in the year 2012. I have had the honor of working as the editor-in-chief of Lexicon since 2019. The magazine has published 39 and hundreds of blogs in the last 10 years. Lexicon has grown over the decade to involve 86 medical students across all states in the editorial board and over 21,000 subscribers. It enjoys a consistent readership across 150 medical colleges and across 4 continents. I invite our founder and editorial director, Dr. Suranjana Basak, to address the delegates.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being a part of our 10th year celebration. It's been 10 long years since we started this Lexicon, the medical magazine. It's been a completely free of cost magazine for all these years, and we will continue to remain that way so that more and more medical students can be a part of it. We are already a family of 31,000 medical students across the country and abroad. Over the years, we've been one of those places where people write, working at Lexicon as a writer, as a creative director, as an artist, as a blogger, and they have used it in their CVs to apply for their institutions and further education at US, UK. There have been so many letters of recommendations that we have signed. We feel very humbled to have been doing that all this time, and we hope that we are able to empower you with this summit. And because this is a very different kind of a summit that we've come around this time, the program is very different from what you already see at medical colleges. We are not teaching you how to read the ECG, not how to read X-rays, not how to identify spotters. Those you're already learning at the medical college, and our faculty is tremendous. They're too learned to teach us all of these things. So they are already there doing their jobs. No one can do it better than them. But we are trying to bridge the gap between the medical students and the faculty fraternity that we keep having. Where we want to learn something, but we are hesitant whether to ask, whether not to ask. So we hope to continue being that way, that medium where all the medical students can benefit from the big picture and can connect with the senior faculties. We have some of the eminent faculties right here with us. We're very privileged and honored to have all of you join us for this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Let us put our hands together to invite our dignitaries to light the lamp and declare the summit open. Our chief guest, Dr. Shirish Patil sir, former Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil Hospital and School of Medicine, Navi Mumbai. Guest of honor, Dr. Surekha Patil ma'am, former Dean of D.Y. Patil Hospital and School of Medicine, Navi Mumbai. Dr. Bipin Chevale sir, Director and Head, Kokilaben Dhirubhai Ambani Hospitals, Navi Mumbai. Dr. Amit Tanki sir, Head of Clinical and Operations at Kokilaben Dhirubhai Ambani Hospitals, Navi Mumbai. Dr. Raviteja Innamuri, Co-founder and Administrative Director, Lexicon. Dr. Suranjana Basak, Founder and Editorial Director, Lexicon. We are honored to have Padma Shri Dr. Alka Deshpande ma'am amongst us.
Ishvara Pada Pankajam.
Thank you. Honorable Chief Guest for today is Dr. Shirish Patil sir. Sir has more than 32 years of teaching, administrative and research experience. Sir specializes in preventive and social medicine with health and hospital administration as the key area of interest. He has served as the Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil Deemed University, Mumbai for 6 years and as the Dean of D.Y. Patil School of Medicine for 5 years. He has also served as the medical superintendent of DY Patil Hospital for over 10 years. I request sir to address the delegates.
Thank you, Anushka. Good morning, everybody. I must compliment the organizing chairperson, Dr. Suranjana, and the organizing secretary, Dr. Anushka, for this wonderful conference which has been arranged over here in Navi Mumbai. LexiMeet 2022 is probably one of the first such kind of a conference which has been arranged in the country, which is not focusing just on the academic aspects, but what next, what beyond your medical college, and what is going to happen next after you become a medical graduate. So it's a unique theme which Suranjana and her team have taken into consideration, and I think it's apt today, post-COVID. We already lost 2.5 years into COVID. And with newer things emerging post-COVID in the academics, in research, and in administration, the healthcare administration, I think this conference will go a long way in creating a better understanding for the undergraduate students who are present over here. Suranjana, this is a mega event because I have been told there are people from Simla, there are people who have come from Manipal, so it's a success which has happened here in Navi Mumbai, and I can understand the amount of effort which you and your team have put to gather all the people from various parts of the country. And this LexiMeet will be one of the newer things which will happen, which might become a model for future conferences of undergraduate students which will happen in other parts of the country. I would like to congratulate Ravi Teja and of course Suranjana for completing 10 years of Lexicon. And she has been the founder, both of them have been the founder. They've brought it here for 10 long years, and everything is free. That's what I've been told in the medical magazine of Lexicon. It's not easy to do things free. I don't understand how you gathered the funds, how you managed it, but you did it for 10 long years. And thank you very much for putting in all the efforts and taking Lexicon to wherever it is today. And I know her since her postgraduate days, so I am aware about her leadership skills that she has. During her post-graduation days, we used to interact very often in different meetings. There were a lot of issues which used to come from UG and PG when we were looking after the administration. And I'm very happy to see where you have reached in the last 10 years and what Lexicon is doing here today. I compliment your father, Mr. Visak, who is sitting here in the last row, and of course your mother, for grooming you the way they have brought you up, and you are taking the next generation of medical students and creating an awareness as to what happens after the medical campus and once the medical graduate passes out. This conference has been designed in such a way that all of you, especially those who are MBBS students, will get a real life scenario as to what happens afterwards. And next examination, probably how many of you will be appearing for the next, I don't know which batches are present here. Can I see your hands? Oh, there are quite a few of you. Some of you might appear for NEET now, and then of course the next examination, the National Uniform Exit Examination, which is going to come up now shortly for some of you who will be appearing. And Suranjana, if through Lexicon you need any help in creating awareness for the next examination, because it's the first time which is happening, we'll be more than happy to be associated with you and create an awareness, guide the students as to the structure of the next examination. And I think Lexicon can take this activity and will be strongly there with you for the preparation of the students. I'm happy to meet Dr. Alka Deshpande, and I know all of you are eagerly waiting to listen to her oration. She is not just a Padma Shri in our country, but she carries with her more than 50 years of teaching, administrative and research experience. And her work in the field of HIV and AIDS is well known internationally. So we are honored to have her amongst us this morning, and she's the one who will be giving the oration. And I think the students should take the maximum benefit of whatever time she's going to spend over here with you this morning. In the next 2 days, I think you'll be interacting with a large number of faculties. I know some of them. Because of paucity of time, I won't take all the names. But you're lucky to have such kind of faculty who have been chosen to come and interact with you. And I also thank Reliance and Dr. Bipin especially for providing a corporate environment for the undergraduate students. Generally here in the medical college campus, so they don't come to know the healthcare aspect and the corporate part of the practice which happens in our country. And with this location, some awareness and understanding will definitely come to the undergraduate students. I hope the next 2 days will be a memorable experience for all of you. I wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you success. God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So I request Dr. Raviteja Indamuri to felicitate, sir. Thank you, sir. Our guest of honor, Dr. Surekha Patil ma'am, is an anesthesiologist and former dean and professor of D.Y. Patil Medical College, Navi Mumbai. Ma'am has over 30 years of academic and administrative experience. Ma'am is the recipient of Sri Puraskar Award, Jewel of India Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Anesthesia and Health Management by Indian Solidarity Council, International Human Rights Ekalavya State Award, among several others. I request ma'am to address the delegates.
Padma Shri Alka Deshpande ma'am, our chief guest today, Dr. Shirish Patil, our CEO of this Reliance Hospital, Dr. Bipin, and my known colleagues here. We were working together in our D.Y. Patil Hospital, Dr. Kulkarni, Dr. Ananya Mukherjee, friends, delegates, and dear students. Very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to congratulate here Dr. Suranjana, who is a chairperson of this LexiMeet 2022, and her entire team for organizing this first of its kind LexiMeet 2022 in Navi Mumbai. I would like to request you, all of you, give her a big hand. It is a very good initiative. And as our Dr. Shirish Patil has told, we have seen Dr. Suranjana, how she works as a student. She is very, very dynamic and very good student. In her student period also, she has written so many chapters in Davidson book. So that shows her interest in academics also. And she has taken her passion towards to develop other students also like that. And with the help of Lexicon magazine, it is very good initiative. And next 2 days, I think you will definitely get the good knowledge about the beyond the medical college. That is the theme of this LexiMeet 2022. And venue itself is the beyond the medical college. So we'll get the first idea of the corporate culture of our healthcare system and so many things. So I wish you all the best. God bless you. Great success in your future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I request Dr. Suranjana Basak to felicitate ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We have among us Dr. Bipin Chevale, sir. Sir is the director and head at Kokilaben Dhirubhai Ambani Hospitals. Sir completed his MBBS in the year 2000 from MGM Institute, Navi Mumbai, and MPhil in Hospital and Healthcare Management from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani. He has previously served as the CEO of SL Raheja Hospital, Mumbai. I request Sir to address the delegates.
Good afternoon all. On behalf of Kokilaben Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital, Navi Mumbai, I welcome all of you all for this LexiMeet. It's a pleasure to be talking here amongst the young lot. Obviously, you are all aspiring to do something in your lives, and nothing better than this kind of platform where you'll get to meet and interact with people from various kind of things. Like she introduced me that I did my MBBS and now I am actually doing administration at this age. So this is what it is. There are a tremendous amount of opportunities available for all of you all, and this is one platform I think which will offer you all. So try to grab maximum as possible. We are all there to help you out. And as far as the organizers are concerned, I sincerely congratulate Dr. Suranjana and her team. When the idea came up of LexiMeet happening in this hospital, we were so overwhelmed and enthusiastic that standing today when I see this crowd, I can tell her, Dr. Suranjana for that matter, can I see her? Yeah, that this can actually become a permanent venue for your LexiMeets whenever it happens in Mumbai. All the very best to all of you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for hosting us and for your words. So I request Dr. Raviteja, sir, to present Dr. Bipin sir with the memento. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Amit Danki, sir, Head of Clinicals and Operations at Kokilaben Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital, Navi Mumbai, to come onto the stage and accept a memento from Dr. Raviteja, sir. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Suranjana ma'am to present Dr. S.V. Kulkarni, sir, Consultant Physician, General Medicine. Thank you, sir. What an honor it is to have amongst us a doctor, a pioneer, a Padma Shri who has made time for us today. It is with immense pleasure that I introduce our orator, Padma Shri Dr. Alka Deshpande ma'am. Ma'am is the ex-HOD of Medicine at Grand Garment College and JJ Hospitals, Mumbai. In 1990, ma'am started the first HIV outpatients department. Ma'am has seen all the three pandemics, HIV, H1N1 and COVID. Ma'am has authored 2 books in clinical medicine, clinical neurology and pregnancy medicine. Presently, ma'am is working with MGM and L&T hospitals and is the Dean of Academic Wing of Indian College of Physicians. I request ma'am to address the delegates.
All the dignitaries sitting here, all the esteemed faculty which is gathered here, and my dear friends. Let me first congratulate Dr. Sinha. It's a very, very novel idea to have a medical students empowerment. It's something very unique. Suranjana, how did you get this idea? I'm really curious to know. And therefore, when she invited me for this, I was excited. And I'm always excited to be with the medical students. because the students inspire me and they re-energize. This is something very, very unique and something which I had never thought of. So once again, I congratulate Suranjana and all her entire team and all the support that she has got from the Reliance Hospital. I congratulate you students that you are very, very lucky to come here and get empowered. So it's very... Okay, so let me start with this LexiMeet Medical Students Empowerment Summit. And I also congratulate Anushka for her motto that words can what medicine can't. And that's what exactly I'm going to say. Thank you, Anushka. Next slide, please. I'll start with my medical education. I'll share my experiences, how I have my journey through this medical field. I was admitted in 1964 in Grand Medical College. That time Shivaji University had just started. We had to appear for the Shivaji University. There was only one Miraj Medical College under Shivaji University which didn't have the hostel, and therefore I was given a choice either to go to Pune or Mumbai, and I chose Mumbai. I came to Grand Medical College. There were only 7 medical colleges. Now there are so many. I don't keep their count because every year they are being added. So there used to be a lot of tough competition. Now when I came here, our first point was that we were very poor in English conversation. There were students who came from Western Maharashtra, 20 of us. We got admission late, and therefore there was a last batch of our 20 students. And because we couldn't converse in English, we were ridiculed as ghati. I had to sustain that. Okay. Of course I felt bad because we had written all our exams in English. Only thing we couldn't speak English. Okay. Next slide. When I came, the social structure was very different. For you people, now the environment is different. I come from a middle class family, from a very small town. I used to stand first, where I was in merit list of SSC exam. So I was very excellent in my small place, and therefore it was a responsibility that I must prove myself when I have come to a bigger metro like Mumbai. That was one, but more important was my father was a school principal. I was the eldest daughter, but even at that stage, in 1964, he never differentiated between a daughter and a son. And his motto was that he will educate all his children to whichever discipline they want to their graduation. I am really indebted to him. So when I came here, a lot of moral responsibility and obligation on me that I must prove myself. Hostel life was something new, and the Bombay life was certainly new to all of us. Next slide. So we were getting used to that. And then I started thinking, is there any reason that I should be ashamed of my mother tongue? No. If I am ashamed of my mother tongue, I am ashamed of my mother. So I am not ashamed of my mother tongue. I could speak excellently well in Marathi, my literally language. People have appreciated. And therefore I was not ashamed, though I was called as ghati. Yes, I was ghati because I am going to communicate with my patients in my ghati language. If the patients come from South India or if they come from far off, at least they will use some national language, and that is Hindi. But hardly 1% elite class is going to speak to me in English. Okay, so I was not ashamed. So what I am telling you, that don't get dragged by these people. There are people who don't like you to go up. They want to find faults with you. Let them find. That is their job. My job is that I should be focused. I have come here to be a doctor, and that is what I am going to achieve at any cost. Later on, I started wondering. That time we didn't have Google, but today I Googled it and found, is English an international language? No. Only 67 countries speak English. That means 1/3 of the countries in the world speak English, 2/3 don't. 2/3 of the countries give medical education also in their own language, whether it is Japan, whether it is China, whether it is France, Germany, everyone. I had been to Italy. I was standing on a railway platform, wanted some small help, so I inquired in English, where do you get the token? That lady looked at me and she said, English? No English. Same experience I had in France. I asked them, where is this particular place? English? Then I showed them, this is the place I want to go. It is a sign language. And both those ladies accompanied me and they reached me to that place. But they don't speak English. So just because you are little poor in English, now of course the scenario is different. All of you must have learnt in English medium school, but don't forget your mother tongue. Because that is the tongue in which you are going to relate and communicate with your patients. My patients will communicate. Okay, next slide. Then when I completed, 20 students who were ragged as ghatis, there was one girl who used to always call us as ghatis. I don't know why, but she left the medical college in first 3 months. And we sustained. And 19 of these 20 students passed first MBBS at first attempt, and I was amongst the first 10. So my English and ghatiness did not hinder me or obstruct me in my focused goal that I want to be a doctor. Then came the question of post-graduation. When the question of post-graduation, from the bottom of my heart, I loved medicine. Medicine was my passion. But all my seniors said, you are a fool. No patient will come to a lady physician. This was 1970. Okay, so this was the practical approach. And they said, either you take pediatrics or obstetric gynec. I said, obstetric gynec I don't like. And pediatrics, I just can't stand a sick child. Those days there were no gel course. We used to do blind venipuncture. Once I saw a Fallon's patient. The child couldn't even cry, moaning. Those days malnutrition was very common. Dr. Udani was my teacher. And I started feeling what scene that these people have made, that these children at the age of 4 and 5 are suffering like this. And I didn't have a heart to take up pediatrics. So I finally decided, come what may, I will do medicine. So what I am saying, when you are in dilemma, think with your brain, but also listen to your heart. Your passion, your dedication, that is what is essential, that brings you success. Okay? What is most important is your work pleasure. There was a time in final MBBS, I started reading systemic pathology. And I got so engrossed in that systemic pathology that there was a moment I thought I should do MD pathology. That thought came in the mind. The next moment I said, then what is the use of my stethoscope? I can't use stethoscope in pathology. And again I came back to medicine. So finally I did medicine. Next slide. So work pleasure is most important. After passing my MD, I had a bond. And because of this bond, I had to enter the government service. So I naturally opted for a lecturer's post. It was a teaching job. In the morning, the clinical work used to be over. In the afternoon, we were just sitting idle. So I said, let me revise my medicine. And with that intention, I started taking students' clinic in the afternoon. Now, when you are taking a student clinic, you have to prepare. I was new. So I used to read up everything, prepare the case, and then I used to take the clinic. And very soon, because in JJ Hospital the teaching was poor because there were no full-time teacher, it was honorary system and all that. So I started taking clinic, and within few months I would say that my name and fame increased and many students started attending it. But that invited jealousy. Jealousy amongst my colleagues. Not only that, even my HOD, he didn't like it. What I am telling, I learned from all this, because this is what we are going to face in the life. This jealousy is going to trouble us at every step. We have to surpass it. My HOD, you require a big heart to appreciate someone. My HOD once told me, why are you taking these clinics? Teaching is a thankless job. Second time he said, is it written in your order that you have to teach? That's exactly what is affecting our government servants. Because the GR doesn't mention whether you are supposed to work or not. Whether you work or not, you get your salary. But that should not be the attitude. If I am appointed, I should be true and sincere to my job. Okay? Next slide. Now just before this 1 minute I will spend. When I became a lecturer, at that time I was the cardiology and neurology specialties had just started. DM Neuro and DM Cardio. I was interested in neurology. I got the registration, but my HOD put the foot down and he said, what is the point in adding degrees? And he didn't allow me. Medicine department on the 2nd floor, neurology on the 4th floor, but he didn't allow me to join DM neurology. Okay, you have to accept it. You have to take everything in your stride. But later on a day came that I taught neuro UGs and PGs for 15 years. And not only that, that neurology, later on I learned from my students, when these gadgets came, they used to record my lectures and pass on to other colleges. They used to xerox my notes and they were circulated in the medical colleges. So just because my HOD did not allow me to do neurology, didn't prevent me from continuing in my neurology. Okay? Of course, I taught all other systems and I am happy because teaching was my passion. Then I was given a responsibility of nuclear medicine. It was with another department, pharmacology, and my HOD said, you go and start working. My clinical medicine was sound, so I could interpret everything. But nuclear medicine also requires a lot of physics. Initially, I didn't know how to set the spectrometer. This was old time, how to start the scanner. And these techniques I learned from my senior technician. So what I am saying, when the question of learning comes, don't grade a person big or small. Wherever you get any pearl of education or knowledge, go there and take it. I learned from my senior technician. Later on, after 3 months, I did the formal training in radiation medicine, and then I was appointed also as an examiner for radiation medicine. Okay, so I did nuclear medicine. It was very, very exciting. For the first time, I scanned liver, brain. We did rhenograms, and on the brain scan, when I picked up a meningioma, of course it was obvious. It was a new technique. My head of the neurosurgery department, Dr. Bhagwati, walked down to my office and congratulated me. And he said, Alka, today I could see exactly the location of meningioma, how big it is, where it is located. Otherwise, we used to do a carotid angio to find out tumors. So he was excited, I was excited. So you must learn to take pleasure in your work. And all these moments you have to cherish. From here you are going to learn. Okay? Every patient teaches you something, and that is what you have to learn. That is the essence of medicine. Then as a complementary to nuclear scan, I took training in sonography, and I started sonography. It was again exciting, but the most exciting and thrilling moment in my life was when my registrar came and said, Madam, my wife has missed a period. Will you do a sonography? I said, okay. UPT was not very common in those days. And we were doing sonography, but for the women used to come to ANC only after 3 or 4 months. This fellow, she had just missed her period. I did the sonography, 5th week pregnancy, nicely undulating, embryo there, and 5 weeks pregnancy with a beating heart. It was so thrilling that even today I can visualize and remember the name of my registrar and his wife. So these are the moments which keep you going. Next slide. Then when I became HOD, I had intense desire that my students must know each and everything. They should not lack in the knowledge. So I started medical intensive care unit, endoscopy unit, critical care unit, and let me tell you, it is so difficult to start anything new in government setup that you go to the government with a request and it is turned down. I'll just give you one small example. For my medical intensive care unit, when I asked for some staff, I had asked for 4 sweepers. The IAS officer, secretary, called me and he said, "Why do you want 4 sweepers? Why can't one sweeper sweep the floor?" I said, "Sir, I'm sorry. I mean, first of all, I didn't get the question. Why do you want 4 sweepers? I have given the justification, which he has not read. Why one sweeper can't sweep the floor?" Then I told him, "Sir, the sweeper doesn't sweep the floor. It is the ward boy who sweeps. The sweeper is necessary to clean the patients. And this is critical care, where the patient can't move out, go to the toilet or pass urine. So his personal hygiene is at most important, and that is why I require 4 sweepers, 3 for 3 shift and 1 as a reliever." Still he gave me only 1 sweeper. And then in 1990 I started HIV OPD, because nobody used to touch HIV patient in those days. The moment it is HIV, referred to JJ hospital, and government hospitals could not deny their responsibility. So when it started increasing, the first thing I did, I started taking workshops for all my medical, paramedical workers, what precautions they should take, what biosafety measures they should follow, and then I started accepting. These patients required confidentiality, counseling, so I started dedicated OPD. When I retired, I had 25,000 AIDS patients on my treatment list. Okay, so much so that the later part, it became very known that JJ Hospital is having the biggest AIDS OPD and all. The medical students' parents, those who are seeking new entry, used to come and ask me that my son wants to get admission here. So I said, "Most welcome, very good." I used to inquire how many marks this, that. "No, madam, but we are told that there is a lot of AIDS patients in JJ Hospital." And therefore they were reluctant to take admission in JJ. And then I used to explain to them that they can't run away from HIV in next few years. Now it has become general. The other day I had a patient, I just asked him, he was a diabetic, so I was explaining him to the diet and all. I said, "What work do you do?" "पानी पूरी बेचता हूँ." तो उसके हाथ से सब पानी पूरी खाते हैं. Nobody knows that he is HIV, AIDS, or he is taking treatment. There was a patient, it happened in JJ. There was a surgeon who, the patient he saw, he did his HIV test. The moment he was positive, he sent the patient to JJ Hospital. In JJ Hospital, the same patient was operated by the son of that same surgeon. And he came and told me, "Madam, I operated on that patient, such and such finding." And I said, and then he told me, "My father had refused." I said, "Go back and tell your father." So you can't shirk from these things. We are going to face all these problems. Viral infections are going to dominate next 25-30 years. We'll have to take all precautions. But as doctors, we can't run away from that. Okay? Next slide. Okay, before that I would just, before I end my story, I'll just tell you that I'm very happy as a teacher. I taught my students. Though my HOD said that it's a thankless job and all, it's not thankless. Today my students remember me for my teaching. Today, many countries that I traveled, the moment one student come to know that I have come there, at least 2 or 3 will come and meet me. The remaining students will call me and they will recall their student days and how they used to attend the lectures. That is my achievement. I don't want any medals. This is my achievement, that today also my students. So what I am telling you, that you have entered a noble profession. You have, therefore never lose your focus. Your focus is, this is a noble profession and you are going to prove yourself. No deviation, no distractions. Now you will say, madam, hard work, there is no relaxation. We also require stress coping. Yes, stress coping you require. We'll take special classes for that. No relaxation, that I don't agree. As medical students, I think we enjoyed our life to the maximum. We had band dance, we had August melodies, we had college week, we used to have 5 different languages plays, even Kannada. So we enjoyed to the fullest. We had Marathi Vangmay Mandal, Hindi Vangmay Mandal, everything. So when you are seeing the dance between life and death, I said there's also a time for you to enjoy the life. And this is your music, drama, everything you enjoy. But there is no escape from the hard work. And who doesn't do the hard work? The engineers, the ITs, the business people, the management people, forget them. Your farmer who toils very hard in the field, therefore you are getting your dal chawal. Okay? So there is no substitute to the hard work. So please don't grumble. In medicine it is a hard work and 24 hours emergency. Try to find your relaxation in your work. If you have cracked a case, that is your relaxation. Okay? Next slide. Now I come to medicine. I'll take little more than 30 minutes. So Eliot had said so many years back, time present and time past are both perhaps present in time future. Please ponder over. And time future contained in time past. So past, present and future are intrinsically linked. Suranjana is showing you the way after MBBS, but that is all based on what you are putting in today. Okay, so today is linked with your future and today is also linked with your past. Next. So medicine is as ancient as mankind. Instinctive methods of self-healing. How did this self-healing started? That man, the caveman, used to see animals, how they are curing their injuries. They used to lick the wound. They used to go and wash the wound. They used to apply some herbs. And from this, the caveman learned how to treat himself. Okay? So it is as ancient as mankind. Instinctive methods of self-healing. There were magic medicines. There were shamans who used to do this. Mummies have shown evidence of TB, urinary stones, parasitic infections and advanced atherosclerosis. That means the diseases were present even at that time. Every country had own system of medicine. Every country had gods worshipped as healers. Next slide. Hippocrates separated medicine from religion. History taking, careful observation, use of eyes, ears and hands. This is what he taught to his student, and power of judgment. Careful observation, that means you are not seeing, you are watching. You are not hearing, you are listening. You are not touching, you are palpating. Okay, that is the difference. So learn in that way. And your power of judgment. Power of judgment is based on your knowledge of science. So medicine is both science and art. Medicine has been defined as coming to conclusions on insufficient evidence. Just check this sentence in your mind and you will understand the significance of it. Insufficient evidence. Based on that, you come to a conclusion. You make your diagnosis and start treating a patient. Next. Now these are our names from Ayurveda, Charak, Sushrut, Vagbhat, Charangadhar. They had developed biosafety. They have described Nadi Pariksha. They have examined tongue, eyes, skin, voice, etc., etc. And they have treated so many conditions. They have even carried out cesarean sections. Next, right? They have described Madhumeha, that is diabetes mellitus. Udakameha, diabetes insipidus. See how appropriate the names are. Then Ikshumeha, renal glycosuria. They differentiated between T1 and T2 diabetes. Genetic basis, of these, and therefore at that age, 600 BC, they declared that diabetes is incurable because there is a genetic predisposition. And how did they diagnose it? They just observed that there was a urinary residue which attracted ants, and they started wondering why ants to the urine residue. So they literally tested the urine. It was sweet. And then they made their observations on such people, and they have given a beautiful treatise on T1 and T2 type of diabetes. Okay, that's what I said. Don't see, watch. Rhinoplasty was done by Sushruta. That time the punishment was to cut off the nose. And Sushruta practiced rhinoplasty. Now don't laugh at it as cock and bull story. In 1814, one Dr. Carpew from England came down to India in search of this Sushruta's rhinoplasty. He went to Chennai, he went to other places, he didn't find anybody to help him. There was one barber in Pune who showed him this procedure. This is written in the English Gazette that such and such doctor came and he learned rhinoplasty in Pune. And he went and taught this in London, introduced his Hindu surgical technique with Indian nose. Okay, so sky is the limit, only you have to think and experiment. Next slide. Clinical medicine, what are the tools? Observation, keen observation, critical evaluation. After this you hypothesize something. You put this hypothesis to scrutiny, so objective evaluation. Now you can use some experimental method, and now with the development of statistical methods, we do the statistical analysis. And these are the tools of clinical medicine. Not too difficult. You start from today. Okay, next slide. Attributes of a good physician: he has to be competent. For competency, science, he must have adequate knowledge, scientific knowledge of medicine as a science. Then he must develop art of medicine. I will come to that, art of medicine. Philosophy of medicine. Unfortunately, these are the things which are not taught to us in the medical schools. I am trying my best, but that is through such workshops and some sessions, but this is what is necessary. Empathy. Empathy is not sympathy. The patient doesn't require your sympathy. Patient requires your empathy, understanding of his problem. Intellectual honesty, be honest, personal integrity and humility, that is the most important thing. Dr. N.H. Wadia, a world-renowned neurologist, he was my teacher, and I have seen and learned that humility from him. Your medical knowledge is not to be shown off to your patients, but how politely you accept and reflect it in your dealing with that patient, in helping him. Every neurological disorder you may not cure, you are not able to cure, but you are palliating it. Okay? And that is where your humility comes. Next slide. Clinical medicine, history taking. It is an art. History taking, clinical examination is an art. Unfortunately, this art is being forgotten. We are unnecessarily getting carried away with investigations. And we don't even know how to interpret those investigations. That is the tragedy. Are you treating a piece of paper? Today also when the patients come to me, they come and just throw their paper in front of me. I said, what is your, आपका problem क्या है? आपको क्या तकलीफ है? Thyroid. अरे आपको तकलीफ क्या है? Thyroid. Thyroid बोला ना. अरे कहाँ है तुम्हारी thyroid? तकलीफ क्या है? वो लिखा है ना उधर. I said, that I can read. What is your problem? So TSH is some 5.6. Some GP has told that you have a thyroid, so she comes and tells me thyroid. And then I tell them, I am not here to treat this piece of paper. I am here to treat you as a human being. So I must know everything. I am not only treating thyroid. Okay? A thyrotoxicosis with auricular fibrillation. Should I ignore auricular fibrillation? So clinical examination is very important. That is an art. Clinical diagnosis. You know, Bickerstaff in his preface has written that 60% of the diagnosis you make when the patient is walking in your office. Another 20% when you take the history. So 80% diagnosis is made without touching the patient. Another 15% by your examination. The remaining 5% investigations only to endorse your diagnosis. You start the treatment with your management. If you are not getting desired effect, then review and revive your diagnosis. Strong doctor-patient relationship or strong bond is necessary. Basic essence is humanism. Next slide. Strong bond between the doctor and patient, which is very, very essential. Somehow it is being destroyed today. There was a system of family physicians. This family physician was like a family member of that family. He knew everyone right from newborn to the great grandfather. He knew the idiosyncrasies in that family. He knew the genetic disorders in that family. He knew the customs in those families. He knew how to deal with them. Okay? Today there is family practice in every advanced country except India. I don't know why MBBS doctors are feeling shy to go into family practice. There is a special training, DNB family medicine. In UK, USA, there is special training for family physicians. And family practice is the first. Then comes your specialization. Okay? Then we started with consultant physician with some specialization. But consultant physician also was the unfragmented specialist. He was concerned, caring and compassionate, and they all devoted time for the patient. But today we are running such a rat race that we don't have time for the patient. I have seen consultants, they give 20 seconds to the patient. What is the TSH report there? Dose of Eltroxin increase? Go. Just open it. Okay? So you are treating a paper, not a patient. So give time to the patient. Next slide. I could dilate on all this, but now there is no time. Then we come to this technological innovations in last 4 decades. With these technological innovations, we have sophisticated gadgets, advanced diagnostics, non-surgical interventions, better healthcare. Now all these advances, they were developed for the better health care, better patient care. We wanted better human beings. What has happened? We have become more mechanical. We have become machine oriented. Echo, CT, MRI, everything. After that we are not able to interpret. Age-related cerebral atrophy, you can't explain to the patient. Okay, but that is the finding on CT scan. So fragmented. So, and this is what we are calling it as super speciality. Now, super speciality word is used only in India, nowhere else. All over the world, it is called as a subspecialty. Medicine is a broad specialty. From medicine with the technological advances, you have become a neurophysician, you have become a cardiologist, you have become a nephrologist. You have advanced knowledge because there are advanced techniques. Okay? Basically, you are a physician. In US, in UK, everywhere, professor of medicine is honored. So, even if you are an endocrinologist, his designation is professor of medicine and fellow in endocrinology. You open your Harrison, open your Cecil and see this. Professor of medicine, fellow in gastroenterology or director gastroenterology. Okay, so there are advanced subspecialties. So don't be under that egoistic problem of being super specialist. I had a pediatrician from USA and he was interested in HIV, so he was trained and he was practicing HIV/AIDS in USA. From there he came for 4 months to my department. He used to work very sincerely, more than my staff in the ART department. I used to have 500 to 600 HIV patients every day, and he used to take, he used to examine, take care, everything. One day he comes to me and he said, "Madam, can I work in your medicine department?" I said, "Why suddenly?" So he said, "No, in USA, they have to spend 160 hours per year in your basic specialty. That means you are keeping your umbilical cord intact. So don't get carried away with the super specialty. Go for these. These are subspecialties. But every year come back to your basic specialty. Revise your knowledge, refresh yourself and start again." Next slide. This medicine today, this so-called super specialty, has brought mechanization, commercialization, escalating cost, because 3 years of medicine, 3 years of super specialty, and then to establish that specialty, the cost is too high. Escalating cost. In the bargain, we are getting increasing litigations, hostility, community and media, everything. And therefore, what is happening, most of our patients who can't afford all this, they are going for alternate system of medicine. You have seen Madhavbag advertisements. I don't know, I have not seen Madhavbag, I am not criticizing them. But that is alternate system of medicine. And they are advertising, coronary, don't go for bypass, we will relieve you. Diabetes, don't go for this, we will relieve you. Ramdev Baba has so many medicines for diabetes. Right from leukoderma, everything, he has a medicine. Okay? Why? Because people have lost faith in us. And that is why we have to introspect, come back to that glorious medicine and get the faith back to us. Next slide. Are we trained now? Nowadays we talk big things of evidence-based medicine. Are we trained for evidence-based medicine? Do we know what is evidence-based medicine? There is a lot of evidence in the medical literature, but are we trained for that? In the COVID era, you must have seen some cartoons. Those people are carrying loadfuls of research papers. Every anecdotal case that is reported as research paper. Okay? So much research has come in 3 years. Is it all gospel truth? Should we go by that? That means we must have analytical brain. We must have statistical method. I think I have given it here. So we must have up-to-date medical knowledge, sound statistical basis, rational comparison, not only of the results, but methodological statistics. Because everybody's methods are different. And if you don't look at the methods and only compare the conclusions or results, it is futile. Okay? There are many ready-made meta-analysis, Cochrane analysis, other analysis. Next slide. So we are not trained in evidence-based medicine, so we have to get trained. We must understand what it is. What does evidence medicine give you? Protocols and guidelines are developed by experts. Yes. It is not final finished product. Okay? New research will come, these will change. So, it is not a final finished product, but it is an ideal set. You should go by that. I am not saying. Clinician must use his discretion in the given life situation. That is the bottom line. Okay, next slide. In Harrison, Open Harrison and Reed, evidence-based medicine, they have done another research work, performance of statistical model versus expert clinician, equivalent accuracy. What is the bottom line? Expert. Okay, so you have to develop that expertise. And for expertise, again, you come back to science and art of medicine. Next slide. Now, what do we lack in today's medical curriculum? Vice Chancellor is here, he should give a thought to this. We don't teach medical ethics. We don't teach you communication skills. Informatics. We don't teach you evidence-based medicine. We don't teach you professionalism. We don't teach you costing. Engineering students are taught costing, but not us. I didn't set up my practice because I didn't know how to charge the patient, from where to get the loan, how to set up the practice, what all is needed to set up the practice. Okay, Dr. Kulkarni is more experienced, he will tell you. But everybody learns by trial and errors. Everybody sees what the next door doctor is doing. Okay, but that is not the correct way. So we have to be taught about costing, and we must be taught about philosophy of medicine. Now, what are the challenges that we are going to face in next few years? Artificial intelligence. Don't be scared. Who has created artificial intelligence? We. Isn't it? So we should not be slave of that. The artificial intelligence should be supportive to us. We have to make use of it, but don't be scared. Or don't be under this wrong impression that artificial AI will give you a ready-made diagnosis and you start treating the patient. No. You have to have your knowledge, expertise and discretion. And digital medicine. Dr. Kulkarni is here, he is going to talk about digital medicine. It is an evolving branch and we will need it, no doubt. But that is not going, that is not going to enslave you. Okay, that will be necessary for when we get pandemics like COVID. Many more RNA viruses are going to threaten human life in next 3 decades. So we will need digital medicine. There will be newer gadgets. We must know how to use them. But finally, gadgets will be new. But finally, interpretation and management will be from you. Next slide. The interaction and interrelations is 2 ways and reciprocal between the society and the doctor. But if we don't speak to them, there is no dialogue. Moral and ethical values are changing. Greed for money and material gains at any cost. This is what we are seeing in today's society. Everybody is after money. But the moment doctor makes money, he is the culprit. So now doctor is also a part of that society. Okay, but that we must emphasize. We should be able to explain to them that you are not robbing somebody. You have put in 30 years of hard work to get your degree. You have invested so much. 1/3 of your life is invested, and therefore you are charging the patient. You are not robbing him. Okay, and after all, you are a part of the same society. So everybody is making money. So what is wrong if the doctor makes money? But for that you must have a rationale. Next slide. What is the need of the hour? Self-discipline, restoring ethics, dialogue with the patient is very, very important. Nowadays people don't talk to the patient. They only ask what are the complaints, write down something, scribble something. As you have seen, many of the prescriptions I can't read. Only the chemist can read. Our handwriting is so poor. Patient participation in decision making. This is now in US. He is given different options. He is given a therapy counseling and then he opts, okay, I go for this. But here in India, the moment patient comes to us, in the government hospital it is on a larger scale. But even in the private, who is the doctor? I am the doctor. So what I dictate has to be followed. Okay, so we take a role of demigod, which is not correct. As a result, what does the patient do? He goes doctor shopping. He doesn't like you, he goes to another person, he goes to the third person. What is happening? Why we can't have that bond? So we must have high standards of care. Regaining trust and confidence of the patient is very, very important, and that is what I look forward to new generation from your side. Or else what will happen if we forget all this and we are demigods and we will dictate? There will be controls from federal governments, insurance companies and medical audits. You have to spend 20 minutes for consultation. In France, if your consulting practice is for 3 hours, That means you will see 9 patients. At the most 10. The moment you see 11 patients, there is an audit. That means you have not given enough time to your patient. Remember that. Every patient, when he comes in your consulting room, the doctor goes outside, receives the patient and brings him in. I was there as visiting for some time. The doctor would tell the patient, she is so and so from India. She has come to observe our medical practice. Do you mind if she sits with me? I don't touch. I don't examine, but do you mind? That is professionalism and ethics, which is not taught to us. Our doctor has so many patients around him and he is talking. So there is no confidentiality, no secrecy, no competency. Next slide. Medicine in future is a future shock. Just 5 minutes more. Future is very bright, very promising because so many advances are coming, so it's very, very bright. At the same time, ugly and frightening. Next slide. And this is what you have seen in times of India. Freeze your eggs, young ladies, waiting for frosted sperm. The lady will bear a child when she retires from the service at the age of 60. Okay, this is what is going to happen. Next slide. Frozen over, frosted spots, designer babies. Next slide. So it is challenging. What are the different medical arenas that you can develop, because this is your empowerment? Clinical, all clinical fields. I am not going to go more into the details because there are panel discussions. They will give you more ideas and more fields which are coming up. All clinical subjects, paraclinical, all paraclinical. Administrative, now you need to diversify. We are reaching somewhere a saturation point of clinical work, okay, unless you go interior. I mean, in a place like Kolhapur, I have all the super specialists, neurologists, cardiologists, any number of them. Oncologists, there are 2 cancer hospitals in Kolhapur, a district place. So the scope is now interior, not in metro cities of Bombay and Delhi. So go for go for diversification, administrative, hospital management. One of my students 15 years back opted for a hospital administration in some American university. About 2 weeks later, I received a letter from the university that we offer this and we will welcome your students. So they want students for hospital management. Health economics is another big thing. Medical analytics, right from WHO, all public health and pharma, they require your feedback in medical analytics. Administrative services, 3 of my students after MBBS, they are IPS officers. I asked them, "Are, tumne MBBS karke IPS?" Yes, madam, I liked it from the beginning. Amaryat satta, amaryat paisa, go for IPS. And 2 of them, one is in Indian Foreign Service, one is in Indian Administrative Service. I thought about it. If you are MBBS, you have developed history taking, clinical examination, rational analysis of your findings, okay, and coming to conclusion. And this is exactly you have to apply in every field of life. That is why you excel in these competitive exams. Next slide. Okay, there are other areas which are developing and very exciting. Nanomedicine. Medical genetics, epigenetics is a wonderful area. We know only few genes which are responsible for ABCD or some diseases. But triple the number of these genes are the genes which are silent. We don't know what is their role, how they stimulate, how they suppress, how they regulate, what is the effect of environment, that is epigenetics. Large research is going in epigenetics. Cell biology, cancer cytogenetics, stem cell development and therapy. And I don't know how many of you know, even Kopar Khairane people. I was so excited. There is just a laboratory here in Navi Mumbai. They developed cardiomyocyte from peripheral blood monocyte. Okay, I am on their ethics committee, so I had the opportunity to see that myocyte developed in vitro from peripheral blood monocyte had that muscle rhythmicity. My God, it's a lifetime experience for me to see that stem cell working. So we are developing all this. It's very exciting. Go for that. Okay. Then you have aviation medicine. In Bangalore there is an institute. You have marine medicine, space medicine, and you have sports medicine. Space medicine will be required in next 30 years. So please find out where you are being trained for that and go for that. You will excel. Next slide. If you are talking about job opportunities, there are government jobs, there are teaching, there are, you can be medical officers, you can be consultant. There are corporations like railways, LIC and other things. The jobs are cozy. Teaching job is also cozy. 1.5 months full paid vacation every year. Plus casual leave, plus unleave, cozy pay. Whether you work or you don't work, you get your pay. But if you have a passion for teaching, today I am here, it's only for the passion. Today I am here because the medical students are here. Okay? So you can go for teaching. I think few days back or 3 years back, I was a medical expert for some UPSC interviews. The interviews were for medical officer in the railways. And I saw all the candidates from UP, Bihar, Rajasthan and MP. I told the chairman, I said, how come I didn't see a single candidate from Maharashtra? They said, is that so? He was surprised at my observation in those 2 hours. And then I said, yes. Then we checked the whole list, not a single student from Maharashtra. Nobody from Delhi. Nobody from Delhi, nobody from Mumbai, of course. So I thought Delhi people, they go to US and abroad. Mumbai people also go, their final destination is America. But America is going to don't be carried away with America. Go there, learn and come back. Okay? So I asked some of the students, some of those people, they had registered for MD medicine. I said, why are you opting for medical officer's post? You are registered for MD medicine. Don't you want to complete it? So the answer they gave that if I am selected, I can postpone my appointment by 2 years, in which time I will complete my MD. I said, after MD also you want to be medical officer? He said, yes, because the job is cozy. You get very good salary, very big quarter.